Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. It's nice to see XRP listed on CNBC. This coming from Joni Gulbrandsen here on Twitter. And as you guys can see, this is a screen grab of CNBC now. Pay attention. It's interesting. Bitcoin here listed as number 1, Ripple XRP number 2, Ethereum number 3, and Litecoin number 4. I wonder why and how they decided to make this decision. I know back in 2017 when we started to see certain cryptocurrencies on the news, it usually fit the same scheme as, the same chronology that we saw on CoinMarketCap at that time. Bitcoin was in number 1, Ethereum number 2, and XRP in number 3. And now we're still seeing these cryptocurrencies listed, albeit in a different order. Note how they still have Bitcoin and Ethereum up here, although in the number 1 and number 3 spot respectively, XRP in number 2. But when we go on here, we can see, Binance Coin is listed solidly at number 4, Cardano even here at number 5, XRP not until number 6. And then when you scroll all the way down, Litecoin is down here at number 13. So what I'm thinking is maybe the people at CNBC and their financial experts are maybe trying to subconsciously push certain cryptocurrencies to their viewers. I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating here. I'm going to be upfront about that. I'm speculating here. I don't know. However, I did find it interesting. I'm not going to talk about this too much because we got a lot to go through today. Wanted to thank Joni here on Twitter for posting that. And look at XRP, guys, right now trading at 71 cents. XRP having an amazing day yesterday and now coming back down in this bullish pennant pattern. So this is XRP on the hourly. We can see on the hourly it is forming that bullish pennant. And if I throw Bitcoin up here on the hourly, we can see Bitcoin also had a great day yesterday and continuing until today. Bitcoin is still rallying strong. So if I go back to this real quick, Bitcoin dominance is now up near 49%. The entire market cap up near 1.5 trillion. So we are seeing Bitcoin really did pick up yesterday. And let me just throw this on the daily for you guys. Just to give you guys a sense of where we are. Look at how many bullish days we have had in a row for Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far, 9 bullish days. And this has got to turn around at some point. I mean, we can't keep going up and up and up. Even if we do see a bit of a red day in the next day or two, that would be fine by me. Of course, at this point, Bitcoin needs to get above this mark here, this level of resistance. We need to surpass this. We saw Bitcoin touch that mark back in mid-June right over here. And again, it was a key level of resistance that we saw for Bitcoin back in January as well, right over here, before it did retrace, then pumping up to make new highs. So this is the level we're eyeing. Of course, we may see Bitcoin do something like, pop its head up and kind of, form resistance in and around here. And again, we don't know how long this is going to take, right? This could take a day, this could take 3 weeks, this could take a month. We don't really know. But ultimately, seeing Bitcoin do this and then finally to the upside. Overall, though, on the grander scale, this is looking very positive. So with regards to Ripple, Novati, that recent partnership, they discuss Ripple and XRP in this investor briefing. This was brought to us by the Wrath of Kahneman here on Twitter. They say Ripple is here, guys, for the long haul. Yes, they are believers in Ripple and XRP. They said they don't use ODL for all transactions, but are looking always for new corridors. And that's not to say that they won't be using XRP for all transactions once we do get that regulatory clarity. I'm just going to play you guys a little clip of this. Listen to this.
On-demand liquidity platform with a Japan-Philippines corridor. Will this news mean we could see Novati expanding its use of this tech beyond just the Philippines? And what can you tell us about your experience with it so far?
So we've found Ripple to be really good to work with. Yes, we are working on expanding our corridors, and I think we've said that before. And I think that, Ripple, certainly from everything we've seen, they are really here for the long haul. I mean, obviously, everyone thinks about them in terms of XRP, their cryptocurrency, but in terms of them providing an alternative cross-border payments network and a compliant payments network, we are believers. They give us a lot of alternatives. On-demand liquidity, we're not using it for all transactions, but it certainly provides, again, a sort of unique opportunity. And, there are other parts of the Ripple offering that are sort of in their own way unique, and hopefully we can really leverage that over time. But on the core question, I think, of other corridors, yes. And hopefully you'll see that pretty shortly from us.
Huge news from Navati. More corridors coming soon. Obviously, they are very bullish on Ripple and XRP, and not just XRP, which he does point out, but Ripple, as a technology provider to give them more opportunities. So I thought that was great. I do think that it was good that he said, we don't use ODL for all transactions today, just to, kind of clarify, be upfront about that. However, I believe that's just because of the regulatory clarity. And once we open up, once this becomes mainstream, we are going to see ODL for all transactions across the globe. XRP will have that clarity. We heard just recently that they did open up a new ODL corridor in Japan, and I talked about it in yesterday's video. I'll link that up here if you guys didn't catch that. Part of the reason why XRP was rallying so heavily yesterday, but not the entire reason. I did discuss that a little bit in the video. I wanted to keep moving, guys, with regards to Algorand. So for those of you guys holding Algorand, some new developments here. Yieldly, multi-asset staking, and cross-chain swapping now on Algorand. So blockchain projects have been using Algorand to benefit from a scalable, secure, fast, and truly decentralized network supporting multiple types of tokens and smart contracts besides CeFi use cases aimed at enterprises and developers. The Algorand infrastructure is making a foray into decentralized finance. So rather than just centralized finance, also DeFi as well, one of the fastest growing crypto trends. So Yieldly leverages Algorand blockchain features and provides users with exciting products and potentially lucrative yield generating opportunities. What is Yieldly, you may ask? Well, the team behind Yieldly wants to streamline the exchange of tokens by helping blockchains better communicate with each other. The end goal is to build a cross-chain decentralized exchange that benefits users in the first place. Yieldly started on Algorand to let users trade faster and in a secure environment, while also enjoying lower fees compared to other DeFi protocols. Eventually, it will expand to other protocols to provide cross-chain solutions and thus reduce the current fragmentation of the blockchain industry. So if you guys want to learn more about that, I will leave this link in the description of the video. Just wanted to touch on that real quick. I know some in the XRP community very bullish on similar coins that complement XRP, or rather coins that also serve similar purposes. So just thought I'd bring this to you guys. Full disclosure, I do hold Algorand as well. I did recently get into my position as soon as I did see a significant dip in the market. So it was in and around here where I got into my position. Nevertheless, want to keep moving, guys, because we got a lot here. Another one from the Wrath of Kahneman. Ripple users Remessa Online in Brazil has partnered with the largest digital bank in Latin America, Nubank, to offer remittances. So more Ripple partner news. Just going to read some of the highlights here. The partnership grants Nubank's customers a discount on Remessa Online fees. So a 15% discount will be applied in the first 8 weeks. In Brazil, Remessa's online main rivals are traditional banks and the UK-based fintech Wise, valued at about 7.95 billion Great British pounds, which translates to about $11 billion US in its IPO on the London Stock Exchange. And so more Ripple partners here developing their strategy for payments. You guys can see down here, Wrath of Kahneman goes on to report that Remessa Online is a remittance platform by BTech. In 2019, they mentioned aspirations to expand the use of XRP as well. And so there was an article just to that. I will link this entire tweet thread in the description if you guys want to read further. And then the Ripple partnership that was announced in 2019, that is this tweet here from Remessa Online. Remessa Online has now partnered with Ripple to offer a new standard for remittances in Brazil. Let's be global together. And you guys can see down here from February of 2019. So huge news there. Remessa, we are seeing them continue to grow. They expect to jump from 350,000 users to 1 million in the next year, competing against traditional banks and Wise. So big news there. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. We also have this, guys, from the Cryptic Poet. So with regards to more crypto adoption, I'm going to kind of steer now into another topic here with regards to the grand plan and how I feel governments are being, I don't know, perhaps coerced, maybe manipulated is a bit of a strong word, by the World Economic Forum to basically set up a new financial framework to be able to gain control. And I mean, this is a double-edged sword for XRP hodlers, because on the one hand, we look at this and we think, well, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want my government tracking every single payment I make. But on the other hand, this is going to be central for XRP utility. XRP is going to be part of this new financial framework. And so, the more utility that is derived from XRP, the better it is for us. So I'm torn, and I feel like you guys probably understand the sentiment I have, and maybe some of you guys are feeling the same way. Anyway, gonna jump into this because the Cryptic Poet first posted this with regards to PayPal's crypto super app. Now we know PayPal has recently provided a service, so now users of the platform can use cryptocurrency on their platform. Well, Dan Schulman, he is the CEO, he said that the project, this super app project, the code is already code complete and planned to be fully ramped up in the United States in the next several months. So payment provider PayPal says its users may not have much longer to wait to have greater crypto functionality through the platform. During PayPal's Q2 2021 investor update call on Wednesday, CEO Dan Schulman said the initial version of the company's super app wallet was code complete. The PayPal CEO said the company planned for the wallet to be fully ramped up in the United States in the next several months. I just said that. The super app wallet will feature high yield savings, early access to direct deposit funds, messaging capability, additional crypto capabilities, and more. Schulman said each wallet would be unique, driven by advanced AI and machine learning capabilities. So PayPal jumping into the game, creating a new product for crypto users specifically, with all these features: high yield savings, early access to direct deposit funds, messaging capabilities, additional crypto capabilities, so much more. Of course, this is like version 2 of a crypto wallet. A crypto wallet traditionally has just been a way to store your cryptocurrency safely. If you have your own keys for those specific wallets, I don't know if you actually would retain custody. I don't use the PayPal platform for cryptocurrency, so I don't know if this is how this would work. And even right now on PayPal, I don't believe you have custody of your own cryptocurrency. If somebody has used it, please do tell me down in the comments section. Nevertheless, they are producing a new app for this, a super app as they're calling it. And, this is going to entice a lot of people, because a lot of people use PayPal, especially if the world is going cryptocurrency, going CBDC. This is going to entice a lot of people to jump on board. Here's a statement: we're one of the few payment companies to allow consumers to use cryptocurrency as a funding source, said PayPal CEO. We're also seeing strong adoption in trading of crypto on Venmo. So they are seeing an uptick. Cryptocurrency, of course, becoming more popular, and this just speaks to that. Now, I also saw this guy's from BondCrypt XRP with regards to the CEO of Binance CZ, or Changpeng Zhao. Now, here's what he's saying. Apparently, he might step down. Binance CEO plans to step down as the exchange faces regulatory pressure. CEO and founder of the largest crypto exchange said he is willing to step down from leading Binance as CEO. This comes amid Binance facing more regulatory pressure. According to Binance CEO, he's willing to step down from his role as the company seeks to become a regulated financial institution. During a conference just a couple of days ago, CZ said he had no plans to quit his role, but the firm does have a succession plan in place. By the way, guys, I don't know if you watch the show Succession. This is totally a sidebar here. This is one of the best effing shows I have seen in a while. I just wanted to bring this up because I mentioned the word succession in that Binance article. Anyway, if you guys aren't catching this show, great show. As a filmmaker, a writer, a director, the writing is great. The performances are amazing. Anyway, I don't want to really dwell on this. Sorry, bit of a sidebar there. Anyway, CZ says he does have a succession plan in place. We're going to pivot to be a fully regulated financial institution going forward. During that pivot, I would be very open to finding a replacement CEO with more regulatory experience. Now, we know in the United States, they've already found Brian Brooks. He is now the CEO of Binance.us. And so, Changpeng Zhao, looking at this very seriously, he does see a very lucrative opportunity. I guess he seems to think that Binance can now apply for, to be one of the regulatory compliant exchanges. Although it sounds as though he's burnt some bridges around the world. So this might be tricky. Of course, we know the powers that be likely have in mind a certain set, or rather a handful of exchanges or a handful of banks that they are going to allow to be regulatory compliant. And a lot of these kind of renegades that just came out of the woodwork 2-3 years ago are likely not going to be able to have the same privileges, at least if they have their way. Now, I guess the question is, will they have their way? How hard are these guys willing to fight? So there's this as well from BondCrypt XRP, and we talked a little bit about Elizabeth Warren in a former video. She did go on the record telling Gary Gensler, look, you have until July 28th to get at least some sort of regulatory framework with regards to exchanges in the United States trading cryptocurrency. Well, now this is an update. Elizabeth Warren has taken aim at cryptocurrency yet again, but suggests the industry can provide answers to big banks. So what's this all about? U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren has taken aim at crypto once again, claiming the industry needs the rules of the road. I don't want to wait until a whole lot of people or a whole lot of small investors, a whole lot of small traders have been completely wiped out, says Warren. This is what she said on CNBC. Concerns over smaller investors comes as little surprise, judging by her previous efforts against the big banks. Who takes advantage of there being no rules? It's the big guys. Who wins when there's no cop on the beat? It's the big guys, Warren added. Warren's concerns are well-founded given the sheer frequency with which many in crypto have fallen victim to massive losses due to ransomware, theft, fraud, or even pure accident. But to be clear, Warren's concerns are not specific to a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin itself, but to those seeking to profit off cryptocurrencies in shady ways. So Warren's whole MO is, look, we need to make sure that, people cannot trade, buy, sell, be scammed by cryptocurrencies, and she's continuing to hit this point home. Now, I think down here, it was either this article or it was another article where she said that she is not against CBDCs, or rather central bank digital currencies. It's just, these unregulated cryptocurrencies that she sees a problem with. Basically, any kind of avenue where fraud or untraceable transactions can occur, she wants to close those off. So guys, that brings me to this, and this brought to us by Ian Northing. Congress divided over the need for a CBDC digital dollar. Now, of all of today's articles, I found this to be the most interesting, and I'll tell you why. There's a few points here that I want to go over. So Congress divided over the need for a CBDC digital dollar. During today's congressional hearing about central bank digital currency, multiple members of Congress expressed reservations about a digital dollar, while most of them were Republican, who believe payment innovation should be left to the private sector. The divide was not entirely based on party lines. The specter of China leading the way in establishment standards and using the digital yuan for cross-border payments featured heavily during discussions, as did China's ability to monitor and potentially block private payments. So they're saying here that most Republicans here, they said it wasn't completely Republican, but most Republicans believe that payment innovation should be left to the private sector, and that mostly that government should not intervene with a CBDC. That doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I know I showed a similar clip in the past. We know what President Biden believes in. This is not a political show by any means, but I just thought I'd show this clip.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
Yeah, he said it. He said the task is to create, well, you heard it. You heard it from him. This was President Biden before he was president, and this wasn't the original clip that I showed on one of my videos last year, so he may have said it a couple of times. Anyway, that just for context here. Let me go down here. Congressman Patrick McHenry was particularly concerned about the latter point. If we don't move as Americans, international settlements, remittances could go to a regime that we'd not like, namely China. But domestically, Mr. Levin raises the issue of the cost of payments. So then they talk a little bit about domestic versus cross-border. He concluded that there are two separate questions here, one international and one other domestic. And hence he believes perhaps there could be two approaches, a CBDC for international use and a regulated stablecoin for domestic use. Democrat Congressman Jake Auchincloss, I think is how it's pronounced, has similar concerns to McHenry. He said, I found the case for CBDCs for geo-economic and strategic purposes very compelling, and I understand why the United States needs to catch up, both to retain its economic leverage and retain the US dollar as the global reserve currency. On a related point, several members raised the topic of retaining the United States' abilities to enforce sanctions. So it's not only the global reserve currency, it's not only to perhaps surveil its citizens, but also the ability to retain the United States' ability to enforce sanctions, which we know currently the United States has that capability through the SWIFT system. If this happens to move towards a different system like RippleNet or something similar, there could be implications there. So however, Austin Kloss also had major reservations about a CBDC for domestic use cases, and he too wondered whether it would be possible to progress an international CBDC and hold off domestically. But then they argued that essentially you probably would want to do it the other way around. You probably wanted to kind of hammer out all the kinks with the domestic digital currency and then kind of move towards international. You don't want to focus on international first, and you would need to have it be the other way around. Gonna move down here, blurring the line. So Austin Kloss also expressed concerns that if the Federal Reserve made payments directly to citizens, whether it wasn't fiscal policy and outside of the Fed's remit. Several members of Congress expressed similar concerns, while others, such as Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, noted how direct Fed payments might have reduced delays in the beer flu relief payments. So they're talking a little bit about that. She was followed by Republican Warren Davidson, who asked the witness whether it was more important for the US dollar to remain the world's reserve currency or that the United States has sound money. All the witnesses responded that they go together. Congressman Davidson then argued that helicopter money was destroying the dollar, which is why there's interest in other currencies. So we have a bit of a push and pull here. We can see there are some Congress people who are pro a new world financial framework as promoted by the World Economic Forum, and then there are others who are questioning this within the United States, thinking to themselves, well, hey, wait, there are all these factors involved. We really do have to address this. And do we really want that global status, the world reserve currency status, to be in jeopardy? So then there's privacy and surveillance. They talk a little bit about China and how they are currently using a CBDC to be able to spy on their citizens, basically track all their purchases. Congressman Davidson went on to raise concerns about negative interest rates and how the Fed could potentially put expiration dates on people's money balances as well, which is kind of a scary thought. Tom Emmer, as you guys know, is cryptocurrency friendly, followed up with more sound bites. The benefit of having a digital dollar would only come to fruition if it were open, permissionless, and private, is what he said. So basically all the benefits without all the negative privacy concerns that some people may have. Any attempt to craft a central bank digital currency that enables the Fed to provide retail bank accounts and mobilizes the CBDC rails into surveillance tools able to collect all sorts of information on Americans would do nothing other than put the United States on par with China's digital authoritarianism. And then there's the timing of all this. I'm just going to move right down here. The one final point relates to timing. Well, the general opinion was that the United States is lagging when it comes to CBDC work. Witnesses didn't see any immediate threats to the dollar's reserve currency status, or not until another digital currency is used at scale for cross-border payments. So very interesting to note here this, like I said, a bit of a tug of war, a push and pull of sorts with regards to some of these senators, and this is happening in the United States. Now, on this note, and I wouldn't have brought this up unless I saw this, guys, from the World Economic Forum. This published just yesterday, July 28th, 2021. Why we need new rules and tools for cryptocurrency. And some of the highlights here: cryptocurrencies can make international payments more efficient, convenient, and secure while removing the cumbersome operational and security processes linked to the movement of conventional money. Their growing prevalence raises challenges for regulators who are faced with questions about financial stability and preventing money laundering and funding of terrorism. To combat these crypto crimes, regulators need to work alongside technology experts, be forward-thinking to design laws that are fit for purpose. And so this article just basically towing the party line, in this case, the World Economic Forum's ideology that the world does need to go digital. Everybody needs to go digital. They even say down here, the challenge for regulators worldwide is to find appropriately regulated instruments to address the risks emanating from greater adoption of cryptocurrencies. Existing regulatory instruments have limitations in addressing consumer and financial crimes and money laundering risks. This has led to increased regulatory scrutiny of cryptocurrencies as launderers have turned to digital currencies like, and get this, they mentioned Bitcoin, Ether, and Ripple to cash out their profits, bouncing transactions around the world instantly and anonymously. Now, it's interesting that they mentioned these three cryptocurrencies specifically, Bitcoin, Ether, and Ripple, saying, look, people are using these cryptocurrencies right now to cash out, and they're not paying their taxes, and yada, 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 privacy, so on and so forth. It doesn't really sound like the person who wrote this did their research. Cashing out of XRP privately, anonymously? Okay, let me continue though. in a sign of a significant shift in regulatory thinking, the BIS, owned by 63 member central banks and monetary authorities around the world, has declared that cryptocurrencies are not money, but speculative assets that can be used to facilitate money laundering. I can see ultimately what they are getting at here is pushing the narrative forward, and we're seeing this in Congress right now. The push and pull, that divide. What are the positives of using CBDCs? What are the negatives? Of course, this new financial framework pushed by the World Economic Forum has its benefits for them. I mean, I've done several videos on this, guys, and again, I keep mentioning it is a double-edged sword because Ripple is involved in this, despite the fact that we may not like what is going on here. And just to this point, guys, Ashish Birla just recently did an interview with Thinking Crypto. This brought to us by MacAttack XRP here. And just to summarize, during a recent interview with Thinking Crypto, Ashish Birla, the general manager of RippleNet, said that Ripple has been talking to central banks for a long time. So it is on the record, and we already knew this, but it's good to hear Ashish Birla say it recently. Birla claims that speed of transactions makes it a natural fit for central bank digital currencies. He's talking about the XRP ledger. We also know recently a private ledger was created for the XRPL to be able to help central banks and bigger organizations be able to transact privately with that security. So considering Ripple is a World Economic Forum partner, the only cryptocurrency company listed on their website as an official ally of the World Economic Forum, this to me speaks very highly of where the price of XRP is likely going to go in the future, considering we're staring down crypto adoption, the world is getting on board. But is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, as an XRP hodler, it's certainly a good thing. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.